Hello friends, it's Candace and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, it's all about you wanting an industrial piercing. Now, I think most videos like this are a little bit different. Most of them go into what to expect with healing and what to expect during the process and things like that, although I haven't received an industrial myself. The main thing I want to say before anything else is a warning that you may not have the proper anatomy for a regular industrial piercing. If you don't know what proper anatomy is, now you might be saying, hey, I have an ear, what's the issue? My ear's like anyone else's ears. And that's true. Everyone's anatomy is perfect. Just some piercings require a specific type of anatomy to function properly in the normal way. A normal industrial will go through the top part of your forward helix, and then it'll go straight down to the higher part to the mid part of your outer cartilage area, your outer helix area. So you need a nice pronounced rim to hold a standard industrial. I know it might be disappointing. You might be looking at your ear right now saying, oh my gosh, my ear is flat all the way across. I don't even have a rim except for the front. Some of you might be even saying, wow, I don't even have an outer rim at the front part of my ear. How on earth am I going to get my dream piercing, an industrial? I am here to tell you, even if you wanted a standard industrial, even if you think you have perfect anatomy for it, I'm here to tell you, you can get something way cooler than a normal industrial. There are so many options when it comes to ears and piercings. You don't have to settle for typical. You can get something unique to your ear anatomy, and you can get something unique to you. I really hope you do, because I think unique industrials are way cooler than standard industrials. But let me go ahead and show you a few pictures of some really cool industrials that people thought outside the box for these ones. You don't have to get a standard industrial to have that cool industrial look. So I pulled all these pictures from Instagram. The first one I want to talk about is this one here. If you see here, this person actually has two industrials. None of them are normal, and they're unique to this person's ear, because everyone's ear is shaped differently. First of all, the jewelry is gorgeous. It's either anodized purple or blurple, not quite sure, and they have some blue opals in there, and it's just so pretty. I was gonna go for blue opals for my look before I was like, screw this. I'm really I was drooling over the gold, so that's why I went with gold, but I do still have some pieces with this color in it. So the jewelry itself, even if it was a normal industrial, it's gorgeous. You know, gorgeous jewelry helps make for a gorgeous piercing. If you look, this person doesn't actually have anatomy for a standard industrial piercing. They don't have a very defined outer rim. If you look the top part of the ear, it looks like they might have had room for the top part of an industrial, but if you look again, it looks like their glasses might have gotten in the way of that. That's another thing to think about. If you have glasses, they might get in the way of your piercing and cause problems. So the brilliant piercer they went to, I don't know who they are. I don't know if they're actually brilliant. The glorious piercer they went to decided to help them out and offer them a custom industrial. Now what happens is, your piercer can make you a custom bent barbell specifically for your ear. They will get a straight bar, and then they'll bend it at certain points to fit your anatomy perfectly. That way, if you want that industrial look, that bar look, but you don't have the anatomy, you can still get that bar, but instead of the balls and the bar going out this way, they bend it. They bend the bar so that it can go straight through your ear, through the flat of your ear. It doesn't have to go through your helix. That's a really good option if you don't have the anatomy, or if you already have a lot of helix piercings. You can get a custom bent industrial piercing, and that will be a piercing that's specific to you, and it'll be a piercing that is extremely unique. And even beyond that, this person didn't want just an industrial piercing and then settled for this different one. This person got a second industrial piercing. I know, it's crazy. Did you even know you can get two industrials? You can. This person's second industrial goes through their conch piercing and then goes up, and then the bar bends and goes through the forward helix. The front is just bent like this to go through the forward helix. So while this person couldn't get a standard industrial, I'm assuming because of their anatomy, judging by just how I perceive their ear looking, obviously a piercer would know better. But this person seems to have not been able to get a standard industrial, and they were able to get two industrials that make their ear super unique and super pretty, and the ear looks really filled up. There's a lot of jewelry going on, at least a lot of jewelry visible, but there's not a lot of piercings. There's only 4. Well, not including the lobes. Got like dust in my eye. So I think this piercing is really cool and a really excellent example of how normal, non-traditional industrials go. The top one, and then if you wonder how they get the gem at the top, you can actually interchange those gems. With higher quality body jewelry, you can unscrew that end and put any end you want. So any of my like flower ends, the ends for my lobe piercings that have screws on the back, if you get some really good body jewelry, you can interchange those. You can get an industrial, even a regular industrial, and they can put some threading in the middle of the bar so you can screw on any end you want. You can interchange your jewelry from any piercing. And I think that's really awesome and unique. And I think having a bar like that where you can thread the ends makes it really convenient. You don't have to change your whole piercing. You can just unscrew that part and screw a new piece back on. If you want to change up your whole look without doing a whole lot of moving things around, same thing, you can just screw a new thing back on. Okay, now I'm just talking about jewelry. Typical. Now let's go to another one that's a little bit crazier. So, oh my god. So this is the next one I'm showing you, and this is actually, I believe this one is a 4-point industrial. It's hard to tell because I know sometimes the gems at the top can be going through the flat too, so it could be a 5-point industrial. But judging by the picture, I don't think that's what this is. What this is an industrial piercing. Probably wasn't done all at once. It's probably all healed. And what this person did, extremely unique, extremely just for their anatomy. The parts of the piercing that are at the top half of the picture is a 90-degree angle industrial. Now, if you don't want all of this, you can actually get an industrial that is just this 90-degree angle if you want. As you can see, you can get the bars and parts in all different lengths and sizes and have them screw together. And you can have these parts custom made. It sounds super expensive, but it's not that incredibly expensive compared to other types of high quality body jewelry. It's just custom made to what you want. You may be paying a little bit more, but you know it'll fit your body perfectly, be completely unique, and be exactly what you want. Not just, oh, I found this on the website and it was cute. You can get exactly what you want and exactly how you want your ear to look like. So the top part is just a 90-degree angle. That could be an industrial by itself. And then the bottom part, it extends down with another attachment and then another end with some ball joints. It looks like ball joints, so I'm assuming if this person bends their ear, those ball joints move to make this piece of jewelry a little bit more comfortable. And then those bottom ball joints go down to an anti-tragus, which is incredible. And then the other leg for the bottom part of this is going through the tragus piercing. So you can see how it's all tied together, and this is an industrial piercing, and it's a lot more substantial than a normal industrial piercing. It's a lot more unique, and it's a lot more fitted to this person's ear. While they perhaps could have gotten a standard industrial, maybe the bar was too short for them. Maybe that standard industrial would have blocked that rook that they already have. Maybe they didn't want that. Or maybe they already knew that you could get a unique industrial and that's what they went for, which is what I'm hoping you guys are doing. If any of you gets a unique industrial because of this video, please send it to me on Instagram because that would be awesome and I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. So this one is pretty straightforward. If you look at this person's ear, you will see an industrial going from the top of a forward helix down, and then the jewelry kind of swirls around to sort of a mid helix, but it's going straight through. So not really the standard straight barbell. It's like curving and going around to go straight to the back through the ear like a standard type of piercing. But if you look a little bit closer, you can see here that this person has an old piercing scar. And I'll show you the picture of how their initial industrial looked. Now, if you think you want a standard industrial, but you were told you don't have proper anatomy, this person probably wasn't. There's a lot of crappy piercers out there, and it's definitely not this person's fault for not knowing. But basically, if you go to a bad piercer, or if you don't have proper anatomy, this is what can happen to your industrial piercing over time. It will have a hard time healing, and it just won't work out that well. Then the skin will get extremely thin, and it's just a recipe for disaster. But what's very awesome and unique, and if you've had an And if you've had an industrial fail on you before, this might be an option for you. You can get some custom-made jewelry. This is actually posted by the brand who made the jewelry. You can rework your original industrial to look like anything, and you can even get a new piercing to fix an old mistake. I just think getting unique industrials really pull together an ear. You can get a really nice and unique look with a custom industrial piercing. You just need to find the right piercer and the right jewelry, and usually the right piercer will help you find the right jewelry, so don't worry about that. I just wanted to show you these ones to show you all the options, and I'm going to take a screenshot of a whole bunch of different ones to show you. And people post a lot of industrials, so if you'd like to see an Instagram reaction of a whole bunch of industrial piercings, I can definitely do that. And it doesn't have to be normal ones. It can be. If you'd like to send me a DM of your industrial piercings, go right ahead. So by the end of this video, you might be a little bit upset. You already have a regular industrial piercing. What to do? Maybe you could get it on your other ear, but now you want your first ear to look cooler or something. Don't worry, there are options for you. Just like that last picture we went through, you could just retire one of your piercings and have some custom jewelry rerouted into a different piercing, so you can still have an industrial, but it's more unique. But another option, if you already have 2 healed piercing holes, fistulas, with your original industrial, you have a few options. You can get 2 rings and have a chain going across. A lot of people really like that look when they're kind of tired of the old industrial look, but they don't want to give up on the piercings. They just get a couple rings and then attach them with a chain. And that's a really pretty look that I would maybe go for. If I had gotten industrial piercing when I was younger and then regretted it later, I definitely would have put 2 rings in the healed holes and then hung some chains across it, because I really love chains, you know, and I don't really prefer to retire piercings, especially if they're already fully healed. So that's definitely an option. Another thing you can do is get custom jewelry made. Not only can you get the custom jewelry made to attach to a different piercing, but you can get custom jewelry sort of similar to this one, and just have something custom made to make it fit your ear a little bit better, fit your aesthetic a little bit more. And basically, custom jewelry can make anything unique. In conclusion, my main reason for making this video is to convince you. First of all, to warn you that you might not have proper anatomy for your dream piercing. But my ulterior motive is to convince you to get a unique industrial piercing. Get something that no one else has. You can be really cool and get a regular industrial, and if that's the look you've been dreaming for, good on you. Not my personal taste, but the good thing with that is I have my own ears, so that's why I don't get industrials on my ears, because they're not my thing. But they're plenty of other people's thing, and I can still appreciate them even if they're not for me. And I just think it would be so amazing if you guys got a rad industrial piercing yourself. I wanted to warn you guys, think ahead. Don't just go get an industrial piercing. If you like piercings and you think, hey, I might want to get more in the future, plan your ear ahead of time. You don't have to know everything, but it's a good idea to look at jewelry you might want and do investments. Don't just waste all your money on some junk jewelry. You can if you want. I'm just like pushing my agenda on you. Don't just waste your money on junk jewelry. Save up, plan for really beautiful, it doesn't even have to be expensive, but plan for beautiful and quality jewelry that's exactly what you want, exactly what would fit that ear, exactly what would fit your piercing. Plan your piercings around your jewelry, and I think that's the biggest tip I can give for a cohesive ear. Plan your piercings around the jewelry you want to wear in them. And I just think these custom industrials are an amazing way to keep your ear unique and really awesome, something that someone will look at and be like, oh my gosh, what's that? Instead of like, oh, glance, it's an industrial piercing, and look away. Not that many people even look at ears. I hardly even get comments on my ears. And mine are like freaking loaded with stuff. The most I ever get is, how many piercings do you have? But they're really just looking at my coin slot, which is like, that's not even really a piercing. So that's just one big hole, and I have to explain that. Anyway, explore your horizons and plan your piercings, plan your ears out, especially if you want a lot of piercings in your life. Trust me, you'll appreciate my message to you in the future. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I love you. See you in the next one. Bye. There's quite a few ones